Good day, everyone. My name is JaMarr John Johnson. I am the founder and CEO of UpMind Media, and UpMind Media is a company that I built 2 years ago in order to help businesses, both big and small, deliver their messages to their customer in a very direct and personal way. You see, I've been in the military for 14 years, and when I got out, I worked in real estate and started in financial services in 2014. And out of all of the companies that I worked with, both big and small, I realized one of the issues that they had was just really getting their message out in a very cost-effective manner. So I started UpMind Media to really change the digital landscape, really start empowering businesses to create very interesting programs to enlist the help of their number one customers. Especially in doing work with nonprofit organizations, I find that they struggle with their message, they struggle with their marketing. So that's what UpMind Media is all about. In this particular presentation, what I want to do is talk to you about helping seniors fund their living costs. Now, this story takes place with a young hedge fund manager whose grandfather was a World War II veteran. In his 70s, his grandfather had a very difficult decision to make. His wife at the time was dealing with Alzheimer's and was living in a memory clinic, a memory facility for those suffering from that neurological disorder. And he had to make a decision. He had to make a decision to continue to pay his life insurance or whether to liquidate it in order to take care of his wife. Now, being a World War II veteran, choosing to be a hero to his family was a no-brainer. Unfortunately, 6 months after he let his life insurance policy surrender, he passed away. His wife was able to live comfortably for about another year until she passed away. But this brought tremendous financial stress to the family. As you can see, the young man in the picture to the left here of his grandfather, he was determined to make a difference and has subsequently built a hedge fund that has over $200 million of revenue in place, capital in place to help seniors and to help them have the option of selling their policy while they're alive and getting a multiple on it instead of simply liquidating it and not realizing the thing that they had in place to protect their family and their legacy. So here is an interesting statistic. 85% of life insurance policies actually lapse every single year. Now, why is that? Is that because only 15% of the population understand the importance of this legacy-changing instrument? No. It has a lot to do with the fact that sometimes people are just in financial situations and do not realize the asset that they have in their hands. So what I want to talk about and educate people on is how life insurance is an asset that can be used while you're alive, and leveraging the ability to access this cash can really save someone's life in their living conditions. So 90% of people who lapse their policies would have considered selling their policy had they known that this was an option. But they don't know because obviously it's not in the insurance company's best interest to let you know this. Now, full disclosure, I myself am a licensed financial professional and have worked in the industry for the last 4 years. And so even learning this information about 7-8 months ago, it was definitely new to me. Now, I knew that if a person had a cash value policy, they could access the cash, but I didn't know that they could actually sell their policy. So this is not something that's widely taught, especially by the insurance carriers, because when people lapse their policies, guess who wins? The insurance company. Here are the statistics. Every day in America, about 10,000 people turn 65 and 70 respectively. 4 out of 10 of those seniors lapse their policies. 4 out of 10. To the tune of $100 billion every single year goes back to the life insurance carriers. That could have gone to seniors, that could have helped them maintain their living quality of life, could have helped their families. And so this is a major problem. Now, as I mentioned before, we only have a little over $200 million to spend, but if we start to pick up some traction with this, then more investors will come into the space, which will help benefit the people who need it the most. So this doesn't add up. Where does the $100 billion go? Right? It goes back to the big carriers, the Liberty Mutuals, the New York Lifes, the AIGs, the Transamericas. And in some cases, there are very interesting policy types. For example, the IUL. The IUL is an index universal life policy, in which seems appealing at first, but people are unaware of the way in which the cost of insurance is rising over time. So when a person is in their 60s and 70s and need the coverage the most, that's when it costs the most. So that can be very dangerous in terms of, the cost and maintaining that. And so this causes a lot of lapses as well. So 55% of seniors who let their life insurance policy lapse because they thought it was an expense, but really it was an asset. So think about it. I mentioned 10,000 people a day turn 65, 70. So we're talking about a little over 5,000 people every single day did not realize the asset they had in their hands. I mean, do the math. 10 days, that's 50,000 people. 30 days, that's 150,000 people. That's a lot of people every single month who are basically not aware of their options. So we're trying to change that here. So their policy, your policy, is an asset. It's an asset class. And it's not just for you when you pass away. Irregardless of the type, there are ways to take advantage of it while you're alive. So one of the biggest fears in America is running out of money. It's living longer than the money you've set aside. And this is going to be a harsh reality for many people. But we can change that for a few, hopefully many. But it's going to depend on how much this message spreads and how much people do the research and the homework to just check out and find out what they could get for their asset. So this slide in particular is geared towards the insurance professionals or financial advisors or just financial professionals. Don't let your clients lapse their policies. Be aware that it's an asset, especially if they're 65. There are some things that they can do to get a multiple on their policies. Let's try to put the life back into life insurance, right? Life insurance is not just meant for you when you pass away. It is a tool that, if used appropriately while living, can mitigate taxes, can supplement retirement, can supplement long-term care. It is an amazing, amazing tool. Can actually benefit nonprofits in terms of, just living benefits, giving tax breaks to the donors, and then planned giving allows the nonprofit to benefit in a great way off of the relationship that was started because of, in good faith, people want to do the right thing. So before you saw this presentation, and I wanted to make this brief, did you know that you could sell your life insurance policy for cash? Just think about that. And if you didn't know, how many people you think around you know? We're talking about something that probably only the top 5% of the population knows. So the average life settlement is 4 times more than the cash surrender value. So if you had a policy, let's say you had a policy with $40,000 of cash inside of it, and let's say it was, a $500,000 policy, you could, instead of surrendering it and only getting $40,000, you could walk away with about $160,000, right? That's a huge difference and will make a huge difference in someone's life. And so people just need to be aware that they have an asset that has the potential to really pay them huge dividends. And then they can start planning for that before. If you're in your mid-40s and mid-50s, this is something that you need to start thinking about in terms of planning as you look down the line. So obviously, if you're someone who's interested in working with me and referring people to me, it's extra income, right? If you're an insurance agent, you now have the ability to sell that client a better product for where they are in that stage of their life, whether that be long-term care, whether that be just a small burial policy. It really helps. If you're a facility and you're just making referrals, there's a way that we can benefit your employee benefit fund. And overall, it's just a win-win. To make someone aware of something that they didn't know otherwise is really being a hero in my eyes. So now why UpMind? So we have some proprietary software that allows us to really shorten the cycle of how long this process takes. In the past, it could take anywhere from between 3 and 12 months. Right now, we can do as few as 2 weeks, sometimes 2 months. And this is the fastest in the world. Now, why is this important? Let's say someone is in the lapse window of their policy right this moment. We can work quickly to help save that policy and as well as get cash into the hand of that senior citizen. Also, our services are free. We have a dedicated case manager to each and every person, guiding them through every step of the way, and there's no cost and there's no obligation. We make money from our partners for bringing these deals to the table while giving the senior citizen a multiple on their cash. So really, this is a matter of everyone should just at least get a quote and check to see what their rate would be. 65 and older, this is just, like I said, an asset. It's a tool, and the more people we make aware of it, the better. So we just really want to make it easy for you. If you want to get in contact with me, you can send me an email. You can send me a text. I'll give you my number. My office line is going to be 310-948-3421, as well as you can call my 1-800 number, or you can email me. Now, here are some of the referral fees if you're just someone who wants to be a referral. And it says here, fee or donation. If you are a facility and you don't want to necessarily receive payment individually for someone on your staff for making these referrals, we can send the funds to the donation to something you have for your employees, an employee fund, a support fund, a fund maybe to help other seniors maintain their residency. There are a lot of things different, or we can give it to your favorite charity. Now, if you just make a name referral, then on the far right, you'll see $400 to $6,000 are the potential fees or donations. If you actually help that senior through the entire process, getting the application, sending it to my team and having us work on it, if you are integral to that, because part of the problem is getting all the appropriate data. Now, it's only a 2-page application, but you'd be surprised how many people struggle to fill it in. So having someone on the ground where that senior is, and this is nationwide. It doesn't matter what state you're in. You don't need a license in order to make a referral. This is just really helping these seniors understand the process and then walking them through it. Here are the policy types that we're looking for: convertible term, universal life, survivorship policy where one spouse remains. Now, convertible term is just term that can be converted to a permanent product at a later date. And then universal life is the index universal life or the U life. These policies are like term. They increase with cost over time. And while they sometimes have a cash account, over time that cash account gets eaten up by the cost of the insurance. So sometimes these lapse with no cash value in them whatsoever. Those are the 3 policy types. It never hurts to ask and just find out what a person's policy is and if it can be helped or serviced. So here's my email address, ceo@upmindmedia.com, and there's my 1-800 number. But feel free to, like I said, call me or text me directly at 310-948-3421, and let's help seniors know their resources so that no one has to struggle unnecessarily. Thank you for your time. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at JaMarr J personally, and I look forward to working with each and every single one of you. Would love to hear from you. Take care.